Welcome to The Resilient Life. This podcast is for high-achieving men and women over the age of 50 who've been successful in their careers, but quietly frustrated by their relationship with their health. You don't lack knowledge, you know what to eat, you know you should exercise, and know what a healthy lifestyle looks like. What's been missing is consistency, rhythm, and a system you can actually live from. The purpose of this podcast is simple: to help you build a way of thinking about health that makes consistent action feel natural rather than forced. Here, we focus on staying strong, fit, and resilient after 50. Not through extremes, hype, or short-term fixes, but through simple habits, intelligent training, and a mindset that supports long-term health. Each episode is designed to help you think more clearly about your health, build habits you can sustain, strengthen your body as you age, and develop the identity of someone who looks after themselves consistently, not occasionally. This is not a podcast about quick transformations. It's about building a resilient body, a resilient mindset, and a resilient life so you can perform well, feel strong, and stay independent for decades to come. I'm your host, Chris Deven, health coach and personal trainer with over 25 years of experience helping people over 50 build strength, fitness, and lasting consistency. And this is The Resilient Life. I want you to picture a specific person for me. Maybe you know him, or maybe, and let's be honest here, maybe you are him. You're over 50. In your professional life, you run an absolutely tight ship. I mean, we're like deadlines are always made. KPIs are crushed. Teams manage with military precision from 9 to 5. Or let's be real, more like 7 to 7. You are just a machine of efficiency. The kind of person who would never, ever show up unprepared for a board meeting. He knows the numbers before the CFO even opens their mouth. But then the laptop closes. You get in the car, and that same machine-like discipline, it just evaporates. The person who manages budgets is impulsively ordering takeouts because they're too tired to cook. The person who hasn't missed a quarterly target in a decade hasn't seen the inside of a gym in 3 weeks. And that is the classic paradox of the high achiever. I see it all the time. People asking, why am I the CEO in the office, but like an intern when it comes to my own body? And that is exactly what we're unpacking today. This isn't a fitness guide. Not at all. It's not eat this, lift that. I'm going to look at health strictly through an executive lens. I'm basically saying you don't have a discipline problem. You have a systems problem. Because the whole mission for today's podcast is to shift that mindset. We're talking about treating your body less like a personal aspiration, something you hope to get around to, and more like a managed business unit. Because, let's be blunt, if you ran your business the way most high achievers manage their health, you'd be bankrupt tomorrow. So let's get into the diagnosis. Let's start with this concept. Something I call the Monday trap, the I will start on Monday cycle. It's the anthem of the over 50 professional. You have a bad weekend, you eat too much, you skip the Friday workout, and before you know it, the brain just goes, okay, write it off, clean slate, Monday is the day. But here's a critical point. You're not being lazy, not at all. You are hyper-disciplined everywhere else in your life. So why does Monday never stick? It all comes down to the environment. And this is where we have to get a little technical about behavior. Think about your work environment. It's an ecosystem designed to stop you from failing. There is external pressure. If you don't deliver a report, a client is going to email you. If your numbers drop, a shareholder is going to ask why. Feedback loop is so tight you can't hide. Progress is visible. And standards are enforced by other people. You can't just decide not to show up to a pitch meeting because you aren't feeling it. The system doesn't care about your feelings. Not at all. But the health environment, it's a total vacuum, especially if you're the boss. If you miss a workout at 6 a.m., who even knows? Nobody. Just you and that snooze button. And if you eat junk food at lunch, who's going to question it? No one. You're in charge. In business, slippage gets addressed early, and a small error is corrected immediately. But in health, the standard slips quietly. And that's the scary part. A silent erosion. So training becomes optional, nutrition becomes flexible, and recovery becomes reactive. You only rest when you physically crash. And all this happens because of a psychological mechanism I call self-negotiation. High performers are, by their very nature, excellent negotiators. They negotiate deals, they negotiate with clients, with vendors, you name it. Problem is, they turn that skill inward, against themselves. They become world-class at negotiating with themselves. Here's an example. The morning alarm goes off, and immediately your internal lawyer stands up. Objection. My throat feels a little scratchy. Maybe I'm getting sick. I better rest, preserve energy for the big meeting. And I have absolutely used that preserving energy excuse. It sounds so responsible in the moment. That's the trick. It masquerades as logic. But I want to point out a fatal flaw here. In any self-negotiation, the present self always wins over the future self. Comfort always wins. Always. The immediate desire for the warm bed will always outbid the long-term desire for health in that specific moment. This is what behavioral experts call hyperbolic discounting. You just undervalue the future reward. And that is where we're relying on willpower to win a negotiation against our own brain. A negotiation that's rigged for us to lose. And that is why willpower fails. You can't white-knuckle your way through a negotiation. You are biologically designed to lose. You have to stop the negotiation before it even starts. Which brings us to the solution. Accountability. Now, I know when some of you hear the word accountability, you kind of recoil. It feels punitive. It feels like getting called into the principal's office. That is a very common reaction, especially for people who are used to being in charge. You see accountability as a loss of autonomy. I am the CEO. I don't report to anyone. But let's reframe that. Accountability isn't control. It's structure. It's not about being told what to do. It's about removing what I call decision-making friction. Executives deal with decision friction constantly. You make hundreds of high-stake choices a day. So if you have to decide every single morning whether or not to work out, that's friction. That is a tax on your mental energy. And it's an opening for that self-negotiation to start. It's an invitation. So if you have structure, let's say a trainer is waiting for you. You don't have to decide. The decision is already made. You just have to show up. The friction is gone. You're basically outsourcing your willpower to the system you built. You save your decision-making battery for the office. It's automation. We automate bill payments so we don't forget. We should automate our health so we don't negotiate. I want to outline 3 critical functions of accountability. First, it externalizes your standards. Takes the rule out of your head where it's negotiable and it's subject to your mood and puts it in the real world. I have a session at 7 a.m. on the calendar. That's a reality. You can't argue with it. Second, it shortens the feedback loop. In business, you get feedback constantly. In health, without accountability, that feedback loop is incredibly slow. You might not realize you've drifted off track for 6 months until your trousers don't fit or you get bad news at a physical. And you see a candid photo of yourself from a holiday and you just go, who is that person? Accountability tells you immediately, hey, you missed Tuesday. It connects the action to the consequences in real time. And third, it prevents what I call identity drift. Small lapses, if they're unchecked, will eventually become a new, lower standard of living. You start saying, I guess I'm just that kind of person who has back pain. Or I guess I'm just slower now because of my age. You start accepting these things as inevitable traits rather than consequences of your behavior. You say, well, I'm 50 now, so I guess the belly is just part of the deal. Accountability stops that drift before it hardens into a new identity. It forces you to confront the behavior before you rewrite your self-image to accommodate the failure. So, what do? I want to share with you 5 steps that you can do them today and get accountability into your life straight away. Step 1, make your health visible. Tell one person what done looks like for the week. Just one. Tell your spouse, a friend, a colleague that you're going to commit to, say, 3 workouts this week. And I'll text you on Friday to tell you if I did it. That's it. Private goals are the easiest things in the world to abandon. Making it visible creates a social contract. Step 2, treat your health like a board level meeting. If it's movable, it's optional. Same day, same time, non-negotiable. You don't find time for important things. You protect it. If you don't fence off the territory for your health, the business will annex that land. Step 3, track behavior, not outcomes. Weight, strength, energy. They are lagging indicators, like a quarterly earnings report. Instead, track leading indicators. Sessions completed, protein targets hit, hours of sleep, steps taken. Did you execute the plan? Yes or no? Data, not drama. Step 4, the weekly health review. 10 minutes on a Sunday night. Ask yourself, what worked? What broke down? What needs adjusting? If you miss 3 workouts, for example, don't spiral into shame. Look at the data, move the workouts, block the calendar. It's a logistics problem, not a moral failing. Step 5, remove self-negotiation. Use commitment devices. If a trainer is coming to your house at 6 a.m., there is no negotiation. The decision was already made when you hired the trainer. You have pre-committed. You outsmart your own brain. Hiring a coach. Executives hire mentors and advisors for their businesses. But for health, the ego kicks in. I should be able to do this on my own. It's the lone wolf fallacy. A good accountability coach isn't there just to count your reps. The real value is they spot drift. They remove emotion. They recalibrate when life gets messy. They adapt the plan so you don't break the chain of consistency. And consistency is the holy grail, especially after 50. Intensity is great, but consistency is what keeps you in the game. So here's the shift. Move from trying to execute. Trying relies on how you feel. Executing relies on systems you've built. When your health is treated like a business system, progress becomes predictable. Setbacks become data points. And being healthy stops being a willpower battle. It becomes the baseline. Goal is boring, predictable consistency. When you're over 50, that is the sexiest thing in the world. So here's the challenge. You don't need more information. You don't need to Google the best diet for men over 50. You don't need a better plan. You just need to apply the same professional standards to your body that you apply to your career. Take one step today. Make it visible. Call someone. Text someone. Say, here's what I'm doing this week. Start the system. And I'll leave you with this. If you ran your business the way you currently manage your health, would you still be in business? That's the question. Until next time, stay strong, stay consistent, and stay resilient.